Down on the Gulf Coast at the end of County Road 365 lies a quiet fishing village named Spring Creek. I heard of Spring Creek years ago because of a locally famous restaurant that shares the same name, but I never really thought of it as a town. Today, it's kind of a time capsule.
I mean, it involves our soft crabbing and our mullet fishing and our, our little marina that we have to maintain down there. And it's more than just the restaurant. And Spring Creek is more than just a little old coastal town. It's such a unique little old Florida village. I think it's probably one of the last of its kind left around. I mean, I'm sure there's some tucked away somewhere, but Spring Creek basically has not changed since we came there.
Leo Lovel and his family own that locally famous restaurant, and they've been a fixture in Spring Creek since the mid-'70s. And he agreed to show me the Spring Creek most of us never get a chance to see.
I mean, isn't that underwater? That marsh, isn't that?
Just for a few feet out.
Oh, really?
That's a spring up ahead of us up there that you can see. See that slick place in the water? This bowl right here is the one that the Indians use because it's so close to the hard ground. This is where everybody swims in the summertime. Back in the old days when they fished with paddle boats and all their nets were made out of cotton, they had to hang them up every night, put lime on them to dry or they would rot. And I have a feeling that's what that was. Commercial fishing people, whether they're net fishermen or oystermen or shrimpers, are some of the most independent people you ever want to meet. And that's why they're doing what they do. They're out on a boat, a lot of them by themselves, and until things got so complicated, they didn't really answer to anybody but God and Mother Nature. They're an independent bunch of folks, and they're basically disappearing, is what it amounts to.
And that brings us to the reason I got to know Leo, his books, the Spring Creek Chronicles.
I guess I realized at one point in time that what we were doing wasn't just everyday life for most people, that I wanted to kind of share some of that. The other thing was, as I told you before, we got kind of had a difference of opinion with the state of Florida on how to properly catch fish, and they gave us some time to write stories. I mean, we didn't go to jail or anything, but they took our licenses away from us, and we'd always spent most every day fishing and crabbing, and all of a sudden we had this time. And also I realized that it was a passing era. If I didn't write some of it down, it would be lost. It's like these old timers that I talk to from time to time in here. They've got wonderful tales and wonderful stories, and somebody needs to, at least if they're not going to write it, get a tape recorder on them, because when those people are gone, that lifestyle's gone.
The Chronicles were a collaborative effort with Leo's two sons. Ben edited the books.
I think the biggest challenge we faced in editing the book was trying to balance the amount of Southern slang and readability.
And Clay illustrated them.
I think when I saw my dad writing these stories and recording this area, it kind of inspired me to do the same. Just seeing all the natural beauty and the people and the culture down here, trying to capture something that, is changing all the time, and a lot of which won't be here too long.
Every time we go mullet fishing or crabbing, it's an adventure. There's no telling what you're going to see.
Sharks. I've always been interested in sharks, scared of them, fascinated with them. I've been around them a lot, commercial fishing like we do. Gotten to catch them, kill them, touch them, sell them, cut them, cuss them, but most of all, respect them.
Now, Leo's idea to write about his experiences, hunting, fishing, and with the people in and around the creek, is hardly a new one. But then Leo had another idea.
Well, I've developed what I call the All Florida Reader, and it's a project that kind of just evolved over the years.
Use his local stories as a tool to encourage school children to read, and then write their own stories.
Then I have worked with the Carabel School, and I worked with the Sop Choppy Second Chance School, and I worked with the charter school in St. Mark's. And what I mean by worked with them, I gave them copies of that book, and their students read it, and then they would ask me to come over and talk about why I wrote the stories, how I wrote the stories, and the students would question me about some of the stories. And basically then I would show them how easy it is to write a story. The books are designed to belong to the student. I leave 4 blank pages after every story, and it says write your own story at the top of the page, and everybody's got a story at the bottom.
And the Spring Creek Chronicles are Leo's story, and he's sticking to it.
It's Spring Creek. I mean, I guess the habitat is Spring Creek, and it's the people in it. You know, they're linked to it just like this grass is linked to this water.
For WFSU, I'm Mike Plummer.